Greetings, citizens from the rolling hills of the bluegrass. Yesterday, I watched a lecture given by Professor Richard Wolff, and in it he discussed the idea of how socialism has changed, but then of course turned around and pretty much discussed socialism as the way we all discuss it. Workers seizing the means of production, worker co-ops, which I kind of like the idea of worker co-ops. However, the idea of taking existing businesses and turning them into co-ops, it needs to be discussed. But my point is this, because it's kind of in the same vein of a worker co-op. So he talks about how the employer steals the labor of the employee because he doesn't share the profits after the work is made. He talks about making chairs and how the supplies or the for making the chairs is $100. The laborer comes in, the employee comes in, puts their labor into the chair, and then they turn around and sell the chair for $200. Now, as best as I can view it, socialism's real issue is with corporations, large corporations of a certain size, because if you scale that down to something smaller, and I'm meaning as small as it can get, 2 people, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all, because I've tried to formulate it as this. My great-grandfather was a blacksmith, right? I have his tools, I have his anvil, and I have the blower out here in one of the sheds behind the house. I have his equipment that he used to do his job as a blacksmith. And he learned that from someone else, and he had apprenticed with someone else. So I bring that forward to now. I am a blacksmith. I work all day, I do good work, and people come to me for their needs. Making door hinges and nails and horseshoes and even making tools. They come to me because I do good work as a blacksmith, and they trust it. But then I get more work than I can take on as an individual, as a single person. And I need help. From my formulation, the moment that I hire a second person to help me, I am now in violation of socialist norms, because I am now exploiting his labor. But let's back up a little bit. Let's say I'm overwhelmed, but I don't take on any more work, but then a young person comes in and says, "Hey, you're a really good blacksmith. I want to learn from you. I want to learn the ways. I want to become a blacksmith, and I want to do it with you." And you go, "Okay." And you apprentice him or her. You apprentice them. And you work diligently side by side. They're learning the craft from you. You both get to a point where you're comfortable doing things, that the apprentice is able to do things on their own. And instead of being an apprentice, you then hire them. And now you've doubled the output, the amount of customers you can deal with in a day. And all of this is happening on your land, because the socialists always try to separate private property from the means of production. Private property, personal property, right? There's always that distinction that they make. But that blacksmith shop is in my shed, on my land. My personal property is right there. Does that mean the moment I hire him, that he then gets to seize the shed. I've worked with them from the ground up, helped make them a great blacksmith, just like I am. And now the moment that I start paying them a wage, they have the right to take my shed away. Does that mean I can't go back out there without their permission? Does that mean everything that I've put into that shed no longer is mine and now belongs to this person that I've trained and created in this capacity of their ability to do the job of blacksmithing? They're now able to go and take what I built. Because I think that's where socialism gets lost. It gets lost fighting the corporations. And it forgets that all of their ideas are going to swallow up small businesses. Maybe not as small as 2 people, but it's going to swallow up these big businesses as much as it does the little ones. Because that's private property in their view. Because it's the means of production. It's where you go to do work. It's a job where you do work. And it should be seized by this one person that I just trained. But without that training and without that shed where the blacksmith shop is, they wouldn't have become a blacksmith. There's an amazing chicken before the chicken, egg, everything. It doesn't make any sense on a small level. They focus in on corporate earnings, but yet the mom and pop shops are left to the side, but they would be destroyed just as quickly. It's another one of these questions that I just try to think up, and it may not be profound. And I've heard people, Tim Pool and Ben Shapiro, I heard them both kind of toss something similar around, but they never really fully fleshed it out. But it's this question of, well, what if the business is in my house? Right? This microphone. This is my means of production. The audio sound that I'm recording my voice through, that's a means of production. Now, this is Audacity, and it's free. You can donate to help this keep it going. But that's a means of production, too. Do you get to seize my computer, my bedroom? And you can't just take the bedroom without taking the house. And this is where the collectivization comes from. This is the farms all being taken away and put into giant. And it's just, they haven't explained how any of this is going to change. None of it, because in the lecture, Dr. Wolf talks about how socialism has changed over time and how they don't have some of the ideas that they used to. They've seen the errors in the way socialism has been prescribed in the past, but he talks exactly the same way in the lecture. It's the exact same. It's not changed. You're still going to have to take things away from people and give them to others. Because if I don't want to give up my blacksmith shop, if I say that's mine, and he says, no, I'm seizing the means of production, we're going to have a fight. I will not give you my blacksmith shop, my shed. But I have a right to it because I work there. I trained you. Thank you for that, but I have a right to your shop. What worldview allows this to happen? It's like polite barbarians. Well, we would like to take over your village. Oh, well, this is our village, though. We don't want you to. Oh, but see, look, we live out in the steppes. We live out in the wilds, and we don't really have anything. But you have something, and we would like to take it, please. Are you, are you going to go, oh, yeah, okay, come on in. Come on in. It'd be, oh, sorry, I didn't understand what you were saying. I understand now. Come on in. Take what you want. Is that is that where we are? Right? Barbarians in the past, or conquerors, or anyone, in all of history has always been, no, we're here to take this and you can't stop us. They were at least honest what they were going to do, that they were going to take things from you. At least they were like, well, we're here to take stuff. You're just going to have to give it to us. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense now. I see now, you with your sword and your bow and arrow. All right, here you go. No, they just knocked the gates down and rode in. But somehow this polite barbarism that socialism masquerades itself as, and it's not, let's be real clear here. I have my issues with corporations too. And corporations engage in this same kind of smash and grab element. So the socialists, they're all humans operate out of the same playbook. And it's just very funny to me, funny in this almost absurdist way, like a economic discussion done by Monty Python, where they reason themselves into these hideous knots, and they can't undo themselves without just totally destroying everything that they plan. And it's almost comical. It's like you want yakety sax to be playing in the background while you see them twisting and turning. So, no, you can't have my blacksmith shop. You can't take the bar. You can't have my used car lot. You didn't go out there. You didn't do a darn thing except take. And that's why you're all thieving commies.